Hi, I'm Barry Shpilman, Product Marketing Director at Priority Software, and welcome to Priority's Coffee Break, where we're going to be speaking with senior management and stakeholders to provide you, our viewers, with an insight into Priority ERP. And today, I'm very happy to have with me Aeyal Katz, Vice President for Business Development here at Priority. Aeyal, thank you so much for being with me here today.
I'm very happy to be here.
Great. So today we're going to be talking about the portal generator, which is a very powerful tool that extends business functionality and accessibility to additional channels for an organization. Give me maybe a bit how it came into being, and then we'll jump right into what it does.
So basically the concept of the portal generator was actually taking something that was very complex, the ERP system, that was only used internally in the companies, and forward-facing it to the outside world, to customers, to vendors, actually to everybody who is not using or accustomed to use an ERP system, so it has to be simple.
Right.
So the concept was taking something that is complicated and extending every process in the ERP system out to the outside world, and we're going to talk about more about some examples of what we did with it.
So this was a new concept or didn't exist in the market?
There were other tools, but they were like for verticals. There was like an e-commerce system, there was a vendor portal, there were ticketing systems. So what we actually took over here, we took the concept of the ERP and extended every process, everything that you have in the ERP, and put it outside to the external world. So actually what you can take now is anything that you have today in Priority. Could be service, could be sales, could be procurement, and just extend it in a few minutes to the outside world. And this was a brand new concept because it gives you the flexibility to take anything in a minimum amount of time and put it out there.
So we understand it is something you could do in seconds, in minutes, okay? So how does it look from the back end? I mean, how does it look at from the user? What's he got to do?
So the user is actually from the company that is building the portal. He needs to go and he has like a configuration screen. He says, okay, I want to take these, let's say, these fields and these reports and just tick them. I want this one, and this one, and that's it. That's all he needs to do to generate, because the whole business layer, the whole process is still in Priority. So we're actually extending the business layer outside. So this gives you now a single point of truth.
Right. Now I was going to bring that up because in Priority, that's of course a very important thing. So all the business processes, it's all Priority. All right, and it's the Priority ERP that runs across the whole thing. So maybe expand on that for a second or two on the single source of truth, because I think that's critical to understanding not just this solution, but a lot of what we do.
Sure. So the concept again is an alternative user interface, just a different user experience. And this is something new in the concept of taking the ERP and just redesigning, or let's say redrawing the user interface to something very simple. Because the alternative is to take a third-party product, do the whole development process, do the integration process, and then when you go live, if there's any changes, you have to go back and do the redesign, do the integration, and again, it's very expensive and takes it's very time-consuming. Here, you want to make a change, in a second, you just tick another checkbox, and that's it. It's already reflected to the outside world.
And this also reflects how the people who are viewing it or using could see it in different types of views. Maybe give us some examples of different types of views that folks can see.
Yeah, so because we want to give it a personalization view, so each company will look like their own portal, so you have the ability to define your pictures, your logos, your color scheme.
Their branding, in short.
Exactly. You get the company branding, and you're getting the look and feel of an shopping cart flow, not like an ERP that is very complicated. So at the end of the day, everybody that logs in can, it's a very short, it's not even a short, it's like an immediate onboarding. Yeah. You just open the portal and you start using it because it's like self-explained.
And what kind of views can you see things in? I think we've talked about in the past, like TV views or, list view. Well, maybe give some examples of how.
Yeah, because we're using the portal generator for different type of audiences, okay? We're talking about for external users, but we can only use it for internal users. So for internal users, we can use what we call the television view. That'll actually put a television in any department in the company and show, like in the warehouse, the efficiency of the storekeepers. In procurement, the sales orders or the purchase orders that are coming.
Television view is sort of like when you go to the airport and you see a list,
flight list view.
Flight list view.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it's the flight list view concept. Like you see, like in red was something that is delayed, in green that something is on time.
Sort of a status at all points of where things might be along the way.
Yeah, and to generate, again, in a few minutes, you have this television view. And you have different types of
views. What
view.
other views?
Okay, so you have a view of any process, like let's say talking about a ticketing system. You want to give your customers the option to open tickets, service calls on your system. So this will give them the ability now to enter any service call, track the history of service calls, see inventory transactions that have been done between the company and the end customers. So at the end of the day, you can dashboard views. Like the moment you go into, for example, a ticketing system, when a customer logs in, you can see how many service calls were opened, how it's divided between each month, on which product each service call was open. So at the end of the day, you have like this view of, when you log in, you got all this information of graphs and charts, and you can drill down into the data. So again, it's things that you're not accustomed in the ERP, but it's very custom when you have like a third-party portal. So I think the investment of taking the concept of dedicated third-party portals and bringing it to the ERP as an integrated system, this is the game changer. From my point of view, at least.
Okay, it certainly sounds like it. And just a couple of last questions here. What are some of the best practices that you might point to?
As I said, the most common ones are B2B portals for either finance or orders, like e-commerce, as we call them. Vendor portals that can give you the option for vendors to update delivery dates or send their ASN, advanced shipment notice, of what's been sent. Could be a ticketing system for service calls, as we mentioned before. And it could be for resellers or any type of retail companies that have multiple stores and want to give access to the stores to see inventory status, goods receiving status, or anything. I mean, basically, we even took a company that had this concept of, say, we want an ERP system. We need the production process. And what they were actually doing, they were generating meals for students, for actually for kids.
Kids eating at lunch in schools.
But they needed a process that doesn't actually exist in Priority. They needed an ordering system for the parents to order meals for the whole week. So what we did, we built in Priority a screen for taking orders that looks like, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And we extended it to the portal generator, giving the ability now for the parents to actually log in and generate their orders. And this is something cool because it actually takes something that doesn't exist in the ERP system, build it, and you still have the single point of truth, and then extending it to the outside world for the parents to order this, to give, and it's responsive, so you can work in mobile, you can work on a tablet, and you can work on a PC or a desktop, as we call it today.
Yeah, so that's a nice way of tying everything together. So one last question for you. Where are we going in the future with this?
The future, everybody's talking about AI today.
Everyone does,
So we're thinking of, leveraging it to be what we call the NLP, natural language processing. So when we actually go and say, okay, generate a portal for e-commerce site that it will include, these reports and these fields from the sales order and this inventory data. And just by speaking, it will generate it behind the scene. So I think everything that we can tie AI into, this is the big thing that's coming to the next, I think, few years from this year and the coming on years.
All right, good. So we're going to have material for future conversations with you.
Sure. I think we're going to have a dedicated session only for AI. This is the very big next thing you're going to see in the near future. And I guess most of the companies are going to expand with AI. And I think this is a totally new concept that is going to change everything. Everything that we did until today is going to be changed with AI, going to be done with AI.
Yeah, the world is definitely moving really quickly. Well, this has been good stuff. I trust our audience found value in this, so let me take the opportunity to thank you for joining us today on Priority's Coffee Break. Eyal Katz, Vice President for Business Development, thank you so much for being with me. And thank you, our audience, for joining us today for Priority Coffee Break, and we invite you to join us again when we'll discuss other issues relating to Priority ERP. Enjoy the rest of your day.